I shopped at Poundland for crochet supplies and boy was I wrong. Hey Yarny peeps, my name's Sarah aka Crocreate, and today I am going to take you along with me on a shopping journey to Poundland. Yes, we are back in the series of where can you shop on the UK high street for crochet supplies, and the next shop that I'm taking you to is Poundland. Quick little disclaimer here, I had to also go to Pound Stretcher because let's just say the supply at Poundland was limited. Without further ado, let's get into this video. I will just say that I even went to a Poundland superstore. You will not come away from Poundland empty-handed, but equally, on the other hand, you're not going to get everything you need to start learning to crochet. Let's see how my shopping journey went and what we got.
So welcome to Burton-on-Trent Poundland, the biggest Poundland that I could find close to us, and it is big. It's so big that it's got trolleys, which as you can see literally blew my mind, and we just had to get one for some reason. So the reason we came here is because it's a superstore. Now, I think I was laying a little bit too much on the superstore vibe. I wanted it to have more things than your average Poundland would have, and it did have more, but not more variety. So for some areas there was like a really huge selection. So health and beauty, there was like loads of like nail stuff and stuff like that. The homewares, again, a massive collection. I guess that's where they're making the money. They're not making the money on craft supplies. So I was really disappointed when I came across their teeny weeny yarn section, and there wasn't it's not too bad, but there wasn't a great deal of choice. All of the yarns are £1 a ball. They used to be on 3 for £2, but they are not anymore. They used to be 3 balls for £2, but not anymore. But, you know, not a bad selection. All DK acrylic, apart from a few bits of Aran here and there. I got a few balls. Let's go back and see exactly what we picked up.
So I have made up a sample of all of the yarns that I got, and it wouldn't be this channel if we didn't make up some cute amigurumis as well. I made these cute little cake pop bears. Hopefully they are in focus on the screen, just dancing around a little bit. Now, the yarn that I used to make these is the self-striping yarn, and I am surprised to say that this yarn, even though it was exactly the same as this yarn in a different colourway, worked up completely differently. I'm not sure if you can tell on the screen, but this little dude is slightly larger than this little dude. That said, the colourways were similar in the fact that they were quite quick repeats. I have to say, working with this self-striping yarn, I love the colours, I really do, but what I don't like is the yarn itself. Now, I know you're going to say, well, what do you expect for £1? Yeah, okay, I expect for £1, you know, it's not going to be the best, but the everyday Pato DK from Signet Yarns is around £1.10 a ball, and the quality is so much better. So although these guys are really cute, the quality of the yarn isn't great. Again, however, if you're just working it out and you're just learning to crochet, it's not a bad yarn for that. It's a little bit scratchy in your hands. I wouldn't recommend it for anything wearable or anything for babies. But if you're just getting to grips with the stitches and you want to make something colourful, then this yarn is great for that. The next yarn that I made a sample with was the other self-striping yarn, which was a different brand. Now, this yarn, I have to say, was a lot better than Poundland's own yarn. This was a different brand, exactly the same price, but it just felt nicer to work with. So this is the sample here. It's quite stretchy, which I expect for an acrylic. The colour repeat on this one is a little bit longer, not too long, but a little bit longer. So you're going to get a good colour repeat on this one. And a nicer feel to it, a little bit softer. It's not as scratchy, and it wasn't as scratchy to use as the other yarn. Colours are great again, very saturated, as are all of the colours in the yarns that I'm going to show you today. A better budget yarn. So they have Poundland's own yarn in the sort of craft label, and they have this yarn which is in a plastic label, and I think it was called Pocket Magic Knitting Yarn. I can't guarantee that this is going to be at every Poundland, but this was the yarn that I'd prefer over Poundland's own yarn. And finally, our next sample is the Himalaya yarn. Now, this yarn, let me tell you, if you have a Poundland near you and you can pick up some of this yarn, go and run and pick it up. I shouldn't be surprised. Himalaya yarns are really, really nice. I love the chenille yarn. But when I was working this up, I actually genuinely was surprised. And I did think to myself, that's not a bad buy. It's a nice colour. There wasn't a great colour variation, but it wasn't a bad buy. It's a nice colour. It's really soft to work up with, and it's cheap as well. And it's a yarn that you don't get in this country a lot of. It's a Turkish yarn, I believe, but correct me in the comments. From what I've seen of it, you can only really buy it on Etsy now. So to see it in Poundland at a great price, I would definitely advise, if you've got any of this yarn in a Poundland near you, then go and grab yourself some. And finally, we are going to do the 2 samples from Pound Stretcher. So the first sample is this chunky sort of, it was like a pink and purple and mustard sort of colours in this yarn. And this is what it worked up like. You can see it's really chunky, and the colour striping on this was super long. Now, I did 3 rows of treble crochet, and as you can see on the first row here, I got purple, which only changed, and treble crochet uses a lot of yarn. It only changed on the 3rd stitch in of the 2nd row. But then, oddly, the mustard colour went for nearly 2 rows. So the self-striping is really long, but also very odd. So if you're making something where you want a precise self-striping, you're either going to have to cut the yarn up or use a different yarn. But if you're not bothered about the randomness that goes on in this piece, then by all means go and grab this. Not the cheapest ball of yarn. It was $2.99, but not a bad ball of yarn either. And I can see it making some really good winter wearables. And finally, one of my favourite yarns from this little haul. My favourite's probably going to be the Poundland, the purple and green and whites, not Poundland's own, the other one. But my second favourite from Pound Stretcher is this chunky, fluffy, rainbow pastel goodness that you can see right here. And this is our sample that we have worked up. As you can see, it's super fluffy. You can't see any of the stitches on this. It's super fluffy. It feels really nice. It was really difficult to work up because you couldn't see the stitches very well. That said, I would definitely go at making a plushie with this because I just absolutely love it. The colour's great. The softness is great. It didn't snap when I tried to pull the end of it. There was none of that. It doesn't shed. Just an all-round great purchase, and I absolutely love it. And I think I'm probably going to try and make a plushie of some kind with this. This ball was $3.99, which I think is a great deal for a large ball like this. That's a fluffy yarn and in a beautiful colour as well. So again, if you've got a Pound Stretcher near you, I would definitely recommend going out and grabbing yourself some of this yarn. So as you can see, the haul from Poundland wasn't great. Things that I couldn't get: crochet hooks. They had tons of knitting needles, but there were no crochet hooks to be seen, no stitch markers. Pretty much what they did was sewing supplies, but your basics. So a tape measure, some head pins, some fabric pencils. They did do those, which I was quite surprised at. They did knitting needles, but that was kind of it. And then the yarn, great selection of yarn, but again, some of it isn't great. It's kind of like what you'd expect to pay for, and that's no disrespect to Poundland. I love shopping in there because it's a great budget shop. We collectively as a family love a good bargain, and we like to spread our money further, and it's a British high street shop. It actually started in Britain, in Burton-on-Trent. So it is a British shop, but they could up their game a little bit, especially with stuff like this. They have so many craft supplies in there. Crafts are so trending right now, and I bet they could up their game like this if places like The Works, The Range, you know, those places that are, again, more budget friendly have got stuff like this in. I'm pretty sure Poundland could up their game too. If you have anything different in your local Poundland, please comment below and let everybody know. Were there crochet hoops? Were there things like stitch markers? Was there anything else for crocheters in there? Please let me know which high street shop you would like me to shop at next. I will leave the links to the other videos. We've been to The Range, we've been to Abercorns. I will leave those links in the description below. As always, you guys, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and it helps me to keep creating content like this for you. New videos go up every Sunday. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.